Dun 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 dun. Why am I so happy? Well, a couple of reasons. Let me give you the first one. Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Dun, dun, dun. Does it say PS5? It does. Boys and girls, now that everybody's being, extra sensitive, I got that, which doesn't mean anything. This PlayStation 5 is mine. And what a cool way for me to have gotten it. Literally one of the biggest surprises of my life. I am so excited to be back. It has been way too long, and I've been meaning to do a video for a long time. What better flippin' way than to start out this channel back with one of my favorite things to talk about, and that is PlayStation. Are you as excited as I am? Don't try and fool me now. I know you are. Yeah. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Here we are, guys. I am holding in my hands the DualSense controller, which is the controller for the PS5. In fact, I have two of them because the lovely people who put this together managed to get me two controllers. Now, what do I mean when I say the lovely people that put this together? Here's the thing, guys. I tried everything I could within my power as somebody who didn't get a pre-order to acquire the PlayStation 5, which just came out last week. And I was unsuccessful in doing so. I tried Walmart. I tried GameStop. I tried Best Buy. I tried Amazon. I tried B&H. I tried PlayStation Direct, which I never try. No luck. There are still people out there trying to get them today, and my heart breaks for you. It really does. And I'm not just saying that because I've got one. But I really am sad because I know how it feels to try really hard to get something that you really, really want and you don't get it. You just don't get it.
You get nothing.
I know. I didn't have it for a long time. And then all of a sudden, I did. And how that happened was my beautiful wife, one day, she messaged me as she was going on the way to Walmart. She sends me a text message and she says, "Hey, babe, I have something for you. Will you meet me out by the car when I get home?"
I'm like, yeah, sure. Duh, who doesn't want to meet their wife out at the car? Tell me to help her with groceries, right?
Because this is the kind of guy I am. I like to be cute and, amusing, just kind of like Joe Pesci, even though I don't sound anything like him. But you know what I'm saying. I was excited, and I was like, okay, cool. She had a bit of a rough day. Maybe she's getting me something to cheer both of us up. And lo and behold, I see her with my PlayStation 5. And I'm like, totally Kevin, Home Alone moment. This is what Kevin sounds like, but whatever. Yeah, I was legitimately shocked. It was one of the coolest things that has ever happened to me as an adult. And that's maybe kind of pathetic, but I thought it was incredibly cool. My online fans, and that means you guys, whoever you guys are, pulled together your resources and were able to acquire a PlayStation 5 for me, like the day after it launched. I don't know who did it. Have absolutely no clue who actually did that, and my wife will not tell me. So that's pretty cool, though. I've been playing some of the games on it. Let me go grab the games. Hold on. I have Demon Souls. It's a really child-friendly game. Just ignore that mature rating. And then I have NBA 2K21. The other game that I want to talk about is the one game that stuck out in my mind the most, and that is Astrobot's Playroom. This is the pack-in game that comes with the PlayStation 5. And let me tell you what, it is the absolute perfect game to come with this console because of how it uses the DualSense. So those of you guys who are watching this probably know already the DualSense is sort of modeled after the DualShock 4 on the prior DualShocks, except that it is wider. This is probably one of the more, I would say the DualShock 3 to 4 made sort of a bigger jump in terms of the look of the controller, especially when you compare it to 1, 2, and 3. They all look basically the same. Well, and this one goes even bolder. It gets even wider at the base, so it feels really good in your hands. And you know what? Everybody knows I don't have the biggest hands in the world. Take that for what you will. Don't make any bad jokes. But it fits really good in my hands. I love the look of it. I love the white. When you just hold the triggers like this, everything feels right. It feels solid. It feels like a nice controller. But the real magic, getting back to Astro's Playroom, is when you turn that sucker on, it goes through sort of a demo tutorial showing you the haptic feedback of the controller and how to use or how that is implemented alongside the adaptive triggers. Now those are, big buzzwords. What is haptic feedback? Haptic feedback is kind of what you have in your cell phones these days, if you have an iPhone or anything later, where you can feel individual rumble points depending on where you push on a particular surface. So with this particular controller, in the past, and with most other controllers, your rumble technology is implemented into the entire controller, meaning, hey, if I shoot a gun, I'm going to feel the whole controller shake to varying degrees, and they sort of tune it to try to make it feel a particular way. But in this case,
they
do something miraculous. Miraculous. The miracle of haptic technology, haptic feedback as it were, is that they can basically pinpoint on the controller where the rumble is going to take place. So for instance, in the game Astrobot's Playroom, I'm probably saying that wrong. When I'm walking with Astrobot, who's this little guy like this big, you can feel the individual patterns, pitter-patter of his feet on the actual controller. So and it changes depending on what surface I'm walking on. So if I'm walking on wood, I'm tapping on my wood desk that I've got here. You can imagine that feels different than when you step in snow, and snow has, a different density to it. So I suggest anybody that's picking up a PlayStation 5, honestly, before you put in either of these two games, which are good in their own right, fire up Astrobot's Playroom, because that's going to show you what this sucker can do. The other thing are the adaptive triggers that I mentioned. Now, if you're seeing right now, if you could actually touch this, you wouldn't feel anything. It would just feel like a regular clicky kind of trigger. But when you're playing a game like Astrobot's Playroom, there's a point in the game where you pick up a bow and arrow, and you have to pull it back just like you would a regular bow and arrow. But when you press down on the trigger, you can feel resistance. You can actually, it feels as though you have to pull harder than you normally would in order to just be able to shoot that off. It's totally tailored to whatever game you're playing. So with Demon Souls, for instance, if I'm swinging a sword, it can add a sense of hitting a piece of metal or clanging. You can feel it. It's really incredible how that works. Obviously, the touchpad is back. This is much, much better implemented, at least in Astrobot's Playroom. There's a bigger surface area. It doesn't feel, it feels like it's part of the controller, not something so tacked on. Really, really like this controller. The other parts that maybe I'll talk about another time, I really like the interface of the PS5. It's easy to switch between games. It's pretty snappy. There's definitely some features that it lacks. Right now, it doesn't support variable refresh rate, and 120 hertz is sort of limited to a couple different games. That's all a bunch of tech junk and things that I don't really want to dive in on this initial video. The biggest thing I want to hit on, and something that the Xbox Series X does that I wish the PlayStation 5 did, was that incorporates save states. The save state is essentially, let's say if I opened up a game like Astro's Playroom. Well, if I wanted to stop that and start a separate game like Demon Souls, if this were the Xbox Series X, I could transition into that game. Astro would stay where it is, no matter what I stop. I didn't have to save it or anything. It's basically frozen. I start another game, and let's say I play that game for an hour, but I want to jump back. I can go ahead and jump back, and it picks up exactly where it was, where it left off, without having to start the game over and reload the game. The PlayStation 5, as of right now, doesn't have that feature. If I start one game, the other game, I have to flip back over to it and start that game up fresh. That's something I would like for the PS5 to incorporate. Anyway, that's all the bunch of technical mumbo jumbo out of the way. I just want to say that I am super happy. I'm just super happy that I have this. Thank you so much for whoever actually took the time and the money to buy something that wasn't cheap. I mean, that had to come to over $600 for both the system and the controller. So thank you very much. God bless you guys. Until next time, we'll leave a coin on the cabinet for you. And I am back, baby. Not going anywhere.